I shouldn't be telling you this. To be honest, the last 3 years of my life have been dedicated to convincing myself that it just didn't happen, that I made it all up while I was lying in an ER in North Dakota with a concussion. But I have proof. It's sitting right here in front of me. A little silver key on a cord. It still smells like ozone and, God damn it, mint. My name is Mike Harrison. I'm not a writer, not an adventurer. I'm a trucker. Or I was. And the story I'm about to tell you is the answer to why you won't find the town of Millfield, Nebraska on any modern map. It all started with the goddamn GPS. Pardon my French, but this was the nav system from Petro Logistics. They updated the firmware so we'd save fuel and bypass Denver. The route cut across an old 2-lane road, Highway 83D. I was hauling a load of frozen steaks from Omaha to Rapid City. Nothing special. Just a regular night in late November. Rain was coming down in buckets. Wipers couldn't keep up. The radio was only catching static and some hellish mix of country music and a Latin sermon. And then my navigator flickered blue. The screen went all streaky, and the woman's voice from the speaker, usually that sweet tone, "Turn right in 500 feet." She said it in a whisper. She said, "This way, Mike. They're waiting for fresh blood. Sorry, fresh stock." I figured it was a glitch. Just a regular glitch. I turned onto the dirt road, and that's when the signal died completely. Not just out of range, but like someone had ripped the antenna out by the roots. The clock on the dashboard froze, 11:59 p.m., and it didn't move. About a mile later, I rolled into Millfield. There was a banner at the town line, "Welcome to Millfield, safe travels back." I didn't pay any mind to the word back at the time, thought it was just local humor. Main Street was perfect, too perfect, like a picture out of 1958. The streetlights ran on gas, not electricity. The cars, all Chevy Bel Airs and Ford Fairlanes, were parked along the curb, waxed to a shine, without a single scratch. And the silence. Apart from the rumble of my Cummins diesel, not a sound. Even the rain stopped pounding on the roof, though water was still pouring down in sheets. I stopped at a diner with a sign that said, "Last Stop Diner." I needed coffee, and I needed to figure out why every single person I could see through the front window had the exact same unnaturally wide smile. I walked inside. The bell jingled. A dozen heads turned toward me in perfect sync. You know, like owls. Their necks didn't move, just the head swiveled. The bartender, a balding guy with a name tag that read Stan, poured me a coffee before I even sat down. "Black, no sugar, right?" he asked. "You truckers are all the same." I never told him I was a trucker. I wasn't wearing a uniform, and I like cream in my coffee. But the cup was pitch black, bitter, and there was some kind of sediment floating at the bottom that looked like fish scales. "Going far, mister?" asked the girl behind the counter. Very pretty. Red hair done up in waves, red polka dot dress. Except her pupils were vertical. I chalked it up to exhaustion. She asked, "Where to? Forward or back?" I said Rapid City. I just needed fuel and to keep heading north. A silence fell over the room, the kind that makes your ears ring. Stan leaned in and whispered, his breath smelling not like booze, but like freshly turned earth. "Son, there's no road north from here, only back to Omaha or forward. But forward ain't on a map, it's a route the town chooses." I lost my cool, threw a crumpled 10 spot from the glove box on the counter and headed for the door. But Stan yelled a sentence at my back that still makes the hair on my left arm stand up. "If you see a sign at the town limits with a name that ain't in your head, don't read it out loud." I bolted out into the rain. My rig was sitting there alone. But around it, those people were standing. Just standing and staring at the trailer. They weren't breathing. No steam was coming from their mouths. And it was 5 below zero. I climbed into the cab, fired up the engine. It turned over on the first crank. Thank God. I floored it. The dirt ended, and it turned into perfectly smooth asphalt. I was hauling ass north, straight as an arrow. 20 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. The speedometer needle was buried at 85, But the scenery outside wasn't changing. I kept passing the same damn tree. It had a broken branch shaped like the letter Y. Every 3 minutes, it popped up on the left. I grabbed my phone. No service. But the screen lit up on its own. Instead of my wife's picture, there was a map. Not a Google map, but an old hand-drawn chart. And Nebraska wasn't on it. The state was labeled Ennsville, and the route arrow pointed into a blacked-out area labeled in tiny print. Storage territory. Object expiration dates lapsed. Do not wake until... The date was smudged out. I slammed on the brakes. The rig swerved, and that's when I heard it. A sound coming from my reefer unit. The steaks were back there, boxes of frozen beef. They were supposed to be quiet, for Christ's sake. But there was a knocking, rhythmic, slow, thump, thump, thump. I grabbed my flashlight and a tire iron, stepped out into that clammy, unnatural night. I opened the back doors of the trailer. The flashlight beam landed on a box labeled Ribeye Premium. It had been opened from the inside. The cardboard was shredded like wet toilet paper. It was lying there. The thing, about the size of a big dog, but with a face like a child's drawing of a deer sketched by a psychopath. Eyes closed. It was sleeping, and it was breathing. Its sides were heaving, and with every breath, the temperature around me dropped another degree. I understood. Millfield wasn't a town. Millfield is a hub, a distribution center. And me, Mike Harrison from Omaha, a trucker with 20 years under my belt, I'm not hauling steaks, I'm hauling feed. I slammed the doors shut in a panic, and then that red-haired girl from the diner stepped out onto the road right in front of my truck. She walked up to the cab and tapped on the glass with her knuckle. "It's hungry, Mike. You need to drive forward. That's your route now, or stay here. Stan needs a new cook. The last one's expiration date ran out back when Eisenhower was president." I screamed. I just screamed something unintelligible and cranked the wheel. I didn't go forward, and I didn't go back. I plowed that rig straight into the field, right through the corn. Stalks whipped against the cab. The thing in the trailer woke up and started to howl. That sound, it was like an air raid siren mixed with a crying baby. I kept my foot on the gas until the engine choked on mud and died. I woke up in a hospital. My wife was sitting next to me. She said they found me 30 miles west of the highway, rig rolled over, trailer empty. "Steaks," they said, "must have been dragged off by coyotes." Coyotes. Right. I quit the next week, sold the house, moved to Arizona, out to the desert, far away from cornfields. I almost convinced myself it was a psychotic break from fatigue. Almost. Yesterday, I got a notification from Amazon. I didn't order anything, but the package came. Inside was a keychain, a silver key, and a note. I'm unfolding it right here in front of you. It's just one line, handwritten in very neat schoolteacher cursive. "Mike, you didn't deliver the cargo to Ennsville. The thing found its own way. It misses the smell of your sweat. Open the door, Mike. We're already here. Your new rig is waiting in the parking lot of 4 Cactus Lane. Safe travels, Stan." You know, I'm going to look out the window right now, and to be honest, what scares me most isn't seeing a truck out there. It's seeing that same old sign. Last stop. Oh, shit.